Thank you, Selection Committee, for changing out of your pajamas and for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video. Whatever time you are watching this, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We are facing a unique time in which we are unable to meet face to face. While this is unfortunate, we have adapted to these unique challenges and we are looking forward to presenting our proposal for your upcoming Catalyst project in this new fashion. While it is unfortunate we cannot meet in person, this alternative presentation media will allow you to view and review our proposal. We will also be recording our question and answer portion of our presentation that will follow, to allow you to view our entire presentation at your leisure. We are sure that your ability to rewatch our presentation whenever you need to during the selection process will just further reinforce that HUE Design and Construction is your premier choice as the contractor for your project. With that, I would like to introduce Jamie, who will be introducing the rest of the TU team working on your Catalyst project. Following Jamie, the rest of our team will individually speak on portions of the project that they've worked on during this proposal. Jamie?
Good morning and welcome. My name is Jamie Stoffer, Principal Architect at HUE Design Construction. I just want to say thank you for giving us your time today to present to you our proposed design for the Catalyst project. Just a little bit about us. We are HUE Design Construction. Established in 1994, HUE wanted to bridge the design and construction side together to get a unique collaborative process that really puts the owner's needs at the center of what we do. The team we have established for the Catalyst project includes myself, Madison Roberts, our interior design lead, Martine Trejo, our exterior design lead, Hallie Clough, our senior construction manager, Shane Mulligan, our project manager, Drew Pearson, our pre-construction manager, and Daniel Litchfield, our project superintendent. This team that we'll be talking to today is strong and collaborative and really shows the values we at HUE were founded upon. After reviewing the owner's needs for this project, these were our main design considerations that we focused on. First, we wanted to make sure our design would generate a market return on owner's capital investment, not only by providing as much space as we can for renting out office spaces, but also designing quality spaces that people want to be in and work in. Next, we looked at to make a positive impact on the community through our design. We wanted to make this building for the tenants, but also keep the community experience in mind. Lastly, we wanted to protect the environment through sustainable design that conserves natural resources and creates healthy spaces to live and work. Our design process started out looking at the site and what's around the area. In just the 5-minute walk around the site, we have some dining, residential, hotels, and businesses, a diverse amount of things going on in the area, which could draw many different people to walk by our site. And with the view of Lake Union and the Space Needle, it's a pretty nice plus to draw on. Now I'm going to turn it over to Madison to talk to you all about our program design and how we use the site's elements in our solution.
Thank you, Jamie. Taking a closer look at the site plan, we took note of the 2 major roads running on the east and south side of the site. The southeast corner of the building receives an optimal amount of sunlight as well as can be easily viewed from the street, making this part of the site more desirable. We intentionally placed the restaurant in the corner of the first floor to draw the public in. The sidewalks also provided an opportunity to create connection between the private and public. By utilizing outdoor seating and vegetation elements, a relationship between the building and its surroundings could be accomplished. To accomplish our overall goals of creating community, promoting sustainability, and gaining a market return on the owner's capital investments, we drew our focus to several different elements of the building. Our first objective was to maximize the square footage of the building. We did this through utilizing the full extent of the site throughout the building, specifically on the leasable floors. This would provide more area for the owners to lease. Our next objective was to create street-level connection through pedestrian access. This is accomplished through the several entry points throughout the first floor located on the street, which draws the community into the building. We also focused on how the users would experience this building. Elements such as balconies, communal lounge areas, and outdoor rooftop plants allowed for a sense of community, gathering people to come together. The last objective we focused on was having a biophilic focus in our project. Our main element is a large green wall that cuts, or rather wedges, through the entire building, providing a moment to experience nature on every single floor. Programmatically, we focused on spacing the programs out in a way that would allow for a sense of community while also focusing on how to relate the private and public spaces. The green wall and atrium is placed near the street and is a focal point of this building. It draws users in and directly into the central lobby area. This key element is what brings people together to experience the rest of the building. The restaurant is located in the southeast corner and utilizes outdoor seating next to the sidewalk in order to initiate that connection. The market is also placed next to the lobby to make it easily accessible for people using the building for work or really just anyone out in the public. The retail area is placed on the northeast corner, slightly separate from the other parts of the building. Leasable space is placed on the second floor on the southeast corner due to it being an optimal part of the site because of the sunlight and its street connection. And the fitness center is also on the second floor and looks out onto the street. Lastly, the community space is located central to the building and is placed on the first and second floor. This provides an opportunity to bring people together throughout the entire building. Circulation is a critical part of this building and works to create a sense of community and promote sustainability. Street access from the south and east side make the building easily accessible. Elevators and a staircase are located at the end of the lobby and travel throughout the whole building, first floor to the rooftop. In addition, this building contains a staircase located towards the street within the atrium and connects the first and second floor to all of the office levels. The staircase looks out to the green wall and street, which provides a unique user experience. This staircase promotes sustainability through its ability to engage its users to utilize the stairs because of the experience that it creates. Next, I'm going to pass it off to Martine to discuss the green wall further.
Thank you, Madison. As we considered providing our users access to quality spaces, we made sure to highlight the impact of biophilic design in a built environment. In our design, one of the biggest movements we made was the application of our angled green wall. Composed of modular panels, this feature spans the entirety of the building, providing access to nature to numerous spaces starting in the lobby, extending up to the rooftop cafe. Through this design, we were able to capitalize on and foster the benefits of biophilic design, such as reduced employee absenteeism, improved productivity, and increased employee engagement. By adding a vertical wall, we were able to incorporate a large amount of vegetation into the project without jeopardizing too much leasable square footage. Our green wall serves an integral role in our design, from acting as a soundproofing barrier to insulating the atrium space. Something that makes our green wall especially unique is that it extends beyond the envelope of the building, effectively creating an interior and exterior green wall. This two-in-one feature allows us to take full advantage of each type of green wall. The exterior portion of the green wall helps reduce urban heat and smog, while creating a habitat for beneficial insects and overall increasing biodiversity. At the same time, the interior portion of the green wall cleans the airspace by removing VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, and the direct access to the panels in the lobby allow for opportunity to grow basic gastronomic plants such as herbs. On top of its sustainable benefits, our green wall also allowed us to break up the east facade of the building, as well as further accentuate the primary entrance to the lobby. The system of panels are simple to attach to the substructure of the building. Each panel of the green wall is composed of growing medium encased in a panel box, fixed to a waterproof backing board, and anchored to a structural steel wall. A pressurized drip line provides water to the panels to ensure an even distribution to all areas of the wall. This panelized system makes for a smoother construction process, as well as easier repair or replacement. A major quality of our green wall design is that we are harvesting rainwater in order to water it. By dedicating roughly 10,000 square feet of our cafe roof towards collecting rainwater, we are able to store water on the roof and filter it through our green wall. The remaining runoff is then combined with the water collected by the roof drains on the rooftop and then treated to be used as potable water in the building. This water is treated one more time to be used as non-potable water before being diverted into the septic system. This system takes full advantage of our green wall and maximizes sustainable use of the water collected on the site. Overall, our green wall helps promote health among employees, helps insulate and clean the air in our building, and plays a major role in treating rainwater. We have also incorporated our desired goals into different areas of the building, such as the rooftop and the street, and I'll now hand it over to Jamie, who will go into more depth on this.
Thank you, Martine. On top of our sustainable efforts, the green wall design was a vital decision in the project development when considering community engagement. We also translated that value into other areas of our design. Looking specifically at the streetscape, we focused on pedestrian experience. The health and safety pedal involves being pedestrian friendly, so we wanted to do that by keeping the sidewalks clean and accessible for all to get through, and then adding plenty of seating in designated areas for people to rest and step out of walking traffic safely. We also increased the exposure to greenery, specifically at eye level, by adding vegetation and greenery outside of the building to provide shade and just lighten up the space. We didn't want our user-focused experience to stop at the streetscape, so we implemented it in the rooftop design as well. We divide the roof into 3 different areas. We have the cafe, the community garden, and then this patio style area. Each area serving as a space for people to get together in fresh air and enjoy some sunlight. For the cafe, the idea was, of course, to have seating for those getting food and drink there, but also provide seating for those who just want to unwind and relax, either from work or just and enjoy the view of the Lake Union. Next, for the community garden, we wanted to have an element both the restaurant and the community center kitchen could use, a place where they could interact and learn from one another, while those who visit the garden can walk through and take in all the plants or even learn a skill or two to take back to their garden. Then for the patio side, we wanted to create a community-focused space. The idea of this area was to have an open space for people to gather. People could come over here to enjoy their drinks from the cafe, or take a break from work from the offices down below, and just enjoy the view of the space seal and unwind. We also added a few more private spots to just separate by plants to give those who may want more privacy to enjoy the beautiful view and vegetation. But mainly we focused on incorporating these more community areas to promote interaction and mix within the space. Now that we've got all the key design elements for this project, I'm going to pass it off to Drew to discuss cost estimate and how we can feasibly accomplish a design like this.
Now that we've discussed the design and how the building will operate, this is what the cost is going to look like. And before I dive too deep in the weeds on the numbers, I just want to say how beneficial it was to have our design team be an in-house entity. For me, being able to walk down the hallway or up the stairs to Jamie, Madison, or Martine's office was extremely beneficiary, just for me to know, hey, am I looking at this detail the right way? Or are we on the same page to be able to deliver what the owner wants exactly? I mean, that really came into play for the live living wall we have. I mean, because we got to get the waterproofing down to a T so nothing's leaking into our building or onto the other side of the wall. With that being said, we decided to do the substructure and the superstructure as 2 mini-max contracts, and then add those onto to get a total GMP. And then what a mini-max is, it's really it's a mini contract under the GMP and set a max price. So our substructure, our max price was $12,500,000, and we got that by putting $185 a square foot at it. Our superstructure, we did $210 a square foot, and that came out to $49 million was our max, so we're not going to go over that. And with those 2 numbers, I included our contingency, our A&E fee, and our CM fee, which I'll get to later. So looking at the numbers, our substructure came out to be $12,054,539, and that also includes the demolition of the existing structure. Our superstructure came out to be $45,277,261, and that put us at a subtotal building cost of $57,331,800. So after that, we baked in a 10% of general conditions, and those are our temporary offices, parking for the subs, gathering permits, layout of the building, shutting down traffic lanes, office supplies, and our safety, what we're going to use on the job site for safety. And that totaled out to $5,656,193. And as I mentioned, I baked in contingency at 2% to each of the substructure and superstructure cost. For the substructure, the contingency was $200,000, and the superstructure contingency was $750,000 for a total of $950,000. We then put our pre-construction worksheet into that, which was us keep logging our hours for meeting with the design team, meeting with the city, kind of getting what they want, gathering permits, and putting together a schedule and our estimate throughout the schematic design development, and construction design documents. And so after totaling those up, we got to $63,366,519. We then included our insurance, which was 7%, bonds at 2%, and B&O tax at 4.71%. That equaled out to $8,291,616 to bring us to a total guaranteed maximum price at $71,658,136. So as I mentioned, I was going to get to our construction management fee. Being in the greater Seattle area, it's very competitive right now. There's tower cranes everywhere, small place to build on, a lot of traffic. So getting our deliveries in was going to be kind of challenging. So with that being said, we chose a 5%. And we kind of did some research on the history of where we were going to be and noticed that right by Lake Union, some native Indian tribes were around there. So, digging down 36 feet for our substructure, don't know what we're going to run into. If we hit anything related, we'd have to halt construction immediately and go from there. We also considered looking into the water table and seeing that how shallow it was. We're going to have to be doing a lot of dewatering going down, so that also played a role. We also were looking at most of the footprints in the Seattle when we're doing construction are relatively small and just go up. Well, ours was a relatively large footprint, almost 30,000 square feet, and we're going up. So that's what really played into that. And so there's our numbers. 71 million is our total. But it's very important to hit our schedule to maintain our price.
In order to stay on time and on budget, we need to make sure we hit critical key milestones throughout the project. Our notice to proceed date for this project, at least in the construction aspect, was October 15th, 2020. Our parking structure will be complete on April 1st, 2021. Our structural steel complete on July 6th, 2021, with dry-in on October 11th, 2021. Our elevators will be officially complete on December 9th, 2021, with a project complete date of January 25th, 2022. Jumping right in, after we get through our setting up the site and getting the demo and everything else of the existing structures out of the way, we'll then be placing H piles in a clockwise fashion, starting with the south, working all the way around, placing those shorings and laggings, as well as excavating for lifts 1 through 4, getting down to that P3 level where we will be doing our foundation walls, and grade beams. We will then be tying in some of the mat slabs for the elevators and north stair cores, and then jumping into the south stair core and south elevators. When we're doing that, we will also be forming and reinforcing for our columns as well as our mat slabs and ramps. We're going to make sure that we have all the underslab utilities in place, including the interceptor swales and the stormwater retention vault, as well as the sump pump. Once we finish that, we're going to continue up into P2 in the same sequence. The cores will be ahead of the standard deck pours from level P2 to P3, and then all the way up from grade. So we will continue up with those cores as they progress. As we continue out with the rest of the ramp to get to grade, we will then be jumping in again with those cores being up higher. Once we hit our 4th level of core, we're then going to be starting with our structural steel. Our structural steel will then be erected, and the metal deck will be placed, as well as our living wall. So we'll be building that up as we go. As that's going up, once we're about 5 floors up with our structural steel, we'll then be able to start our exterior skin, our exterior envelope. Again, starting with that south elevation, working in a clockwise fashion, south all the way to the east, working on that metal panel, curtain wall, and storefront where needed. Once we finish out with our exterior skin, we're going to begin our interior improvements. Our interior improvements will start once we're about 5 floors up with the exterior skin, doing our in-wall rough-in, our wall layouts, MEPF layouts, as well as in-wall inspections, getting our ACT grids in place, and all of our interior finishes. At this point, we will be removing the tower crane. The tower crane and man lift will be removed because we will be utilizing the north elevator. This was actually incorporated to be finished earlier, so we can utilize that and remove the tower crane and man lift accordingly. So once we jump into those finishes, continuing up from the 1st floor all the way up to the roof amenity space, where we will jump into our exterior improvements, which is our curb and gutter, landscaping, bollards, as well as handrails and miscellaneous items throughout the site on street level, as well as up on the roof. This will also include the landscaping for a green wall, as well as the testing and balancing and commissioning of all the other MEPF equipment that we will have at this particular complex. We have our substantial completion date there. With our punch list, we left our punch list a 3-week time period as well as project turnover at the same time to really be able to focus on all the areas that needed to be adjusted to make sure we get the building as fine-tuned and the owner as prepared as possible for turnover of their brand new building.
Efficiency is one aspect of site logistics that is important, but equally as important is figuring out ways to reduce cost, promote safety, and thinking ahead. So what does that look like in terms of getting to and from the job site with those themes in mind? In terms of efficiency, that looks like getting freight to the job site as seamlessly as possible. We designed a route that is a quick drop off of the I-5 corridor. In terms of cost, getting freight to and from the site without hiccups is just as important. Our route utilizes minimal turns on small arterial roads. Getting to the job site safely means quality assurance of materials. All roads were thought with the intent of providing little start, stop, or turns for tipping as possible. Making sure our truckers are safe and being aware of pedestrians was also one of our top priorities. Thinking ahead for getting to and from the job site looks like having a backup route when the traffic is slow or the lanes are shut down on the highway. We did this by utilizing State Route 99. We also considered height and weight restrictions from roads, tolls from the 99, and construction sites like the one across from Roy Street when picking our freighting route. But those are just about getting to the job site. Getting to know the actual job site and how it can be more efficient, less costly, safe, and prepare for future challenges are just as important. In terms of efficiency, that looks like having a crane and a man lift strategically placed at the center of the job site along the 9th Ave street for short laydown times. Sequencing work so no trades are waiting for others to get done, or having toilets, materials, waste bins, and tools, or like what we like to call TWMT, on every floor to save trips back to the ground level. All of these considerations reduce time, which reduces cost. Reducing cost in site logistics also means knowing what materials cost the most and prioritizing those items to be installed right away and without waste. Examples of this might be the green wall, like we've discussed, or structural steel, which are big budget items. Safety on the job site looks like sequencing so trays never are stacked. There's also other considerations like temporary power being placed in a spot where it's easy to access in case of emergencies, or placing signs on each corner of the job site to inform the public. Now, all of these logistics have to be put in place with the intention of public and pedestrians in mind, and how to tackle these new challenges as they come. With the public of Seattle in mind, we want to bring 10-foot plywood fences for noise and dust mitigation. We also want to have building signage on every corner of the site and entrances to keep the public informed and keep them safe. We want to have personnel spraying water to keep dust down when performing activities like demolition and excavation. And we want to build relationships with the community, like feeding the transitional housing community at 800 Aloha Street. Additionally, we want to prepare for new challenges that might arise, like having people with experience in dewatering for excavation. We want to provide parking for the owner and inspector right next to the job site in case they have something they need to see right away and provide a seamless experience. And we will hold pull planning meetings weekly to make sure that sequencing activities are running smoothly. All of these points are important to consider to make construction flow smoothly. And to put the cherry on top, Hallie is going to take it away and tie our site logistics back into the project as a whole, going from schematic designs to punch list. Hallie?
Thank you, Shane, and a big thank you to the rest of our HUE team. The site logistics plan is immensely crucial to the efficient completion of any construction project. For the Catalyst, working in downtown Seattle, we must consider the access limitations that we will encounter due to height and weight restrictions on the highway. To combat these limitations, we have developed multiple plans for entry and exit of the job site depending on which of the major access ways are utilized during the construction process. Our site is laid out in a logical manner that optimizes flow throughout the site and enables our personnel to operate in the most efficient way to accomplish their job. The Catalyst project has a total guaranteed maximum price of $71.6 million. Our estimating and design departments have worked diligently to ensure these numbers will get you, as the owner, the most efficient, effective, and longest-lasting building that HUE can construct. With a total project duration of 467 calendar days, HUE and our trade partners have worked out the most efficient timeline for the construction of your building. This construction schedule has been refined to streamline how all parties will put their respective parts of work in place. Because we've consulted with our various trade partners on this construction schedule, we have further optimized this process because all parties are fully invested in this construction plan. All projects that HUE Design and Construction take on are tackled with our 5 guiding principles in mind. Generating market return. This state-of-the-art project is designed with any type of future tenant in mind. Restaurant, retail, or office, the Catalyst is fully prepared to be suited to their needs. Going the extra mile. The intensive consideration that we put into every aspect of design is what makes HUE Design and Construction the premier contractor in the Northwest. Providing sustainability. Seattle is at the forefront of the green building movement, and the Catalyst is ready to further that mission. Our efforts to reduce waste during construction, as well as reducing waste throughout the building's life cycle, is a goal that HUE takes great pride in. Create a positive impact. Building a great building is not the sole goal of HUE. Making an impact in the community in which we are guests has always been a priority for all of our people. We have worked with the halfway house 800 Aloha, which is right down the street, during previous construction projects in the area, and we are looking forward to maintaining that relationship. Acting ethically. Our extensive relationship with our various trade partners promotes a symbiotic relationship between all parties involved on the project, which ensures limiting waste as well as optimizing productivity. Thank you so much to the selection committee for taking time to review our proposal and watch this video. Our team is honored to have had the opportunity to put in the work to submit this proposal for your consideration. Again, we thank you. And please, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them during the question and answer portion of this session that will immediately follow this video. Thank you.